And countdown. All
And
right. Good
welcome
evening,
back.
everyone.
Good
Yeah.
evening.
Good evening. It's now 11:05 in the PM. That's Manila Standard Time, and I don't know what time it is in the states. Sir David
It's
Theobald, what time is it right
PM.
there?
It is 7 o'clock in the morning.
Good morning, bro.
Good morning.
Yeah. Sly
Good
guy, would
morning.
you like to further introduce our very special guest?
Yes, he is V, co-host of V, also a host of the Nerd Podcast, and he is a Magic the Gathering player, a Magic Arena player. This is David Theobald III. Good morning, David. How are you doing?
Good. Good morning. Thank you for having me on. Yes, I've played Magic for a long time. I started way back when Revised came out. I've been playing for a very long time. Thank you for having me on. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yes, definitely it
And
is. So,
because the Sly guy is a more expert than me when it comes to Magic the Gathering, guys, I'm sorry, but the Sly guy will have to do most of the talking. I'll be on support for the visuals. Go ahead, Sly.
yeah, and don't worry, we won't just talk about Magic. We'll talk about other things as well. That David enjoys because as you can see
Mm.
behind him, he's got Star Wars stuff. So
Yes, yes,
we can talk
yes. I've
about
got I've
Jedi
got my
later on.
Star Trek rep here, my Star Wars back there. Oh yeah,
Ah, yeah, David Beat also likes Star Trek, so we can
oh yeah.
talk about the Star Trek later on as well.
I have a comic
He's
book
also a
about
Trekkie,
Green
by the
Lantern
way.
and the Star Trek cast
Ooh,
crossover.
okay, neat,
Yeah,
very cool.
it's a really neat crossover. So, could you please tell us about your humble beginnings with Magic the Gathering? How did you start?
Well,
What decks did you play?
when I first started playing Magic, my uncle had taken me to a card shop out here called Third Planet. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore. Uh, he played for a long time. He started back when it first started with Alpha, and he was buying cards, and I was interested in seeing what they did, and he started teaching me how to play the game. So I bought
Hmm.
my first starter deck and several booster packs of Revised. And my first deck was basically every card I owned. It was like 85, 90 cards. It was my first deck. I wasn't any good, but yeah, my uncle taught me how to play. He was the one that I would. Oh, he actually the same uncle is the one that taught me how to play Dungeons and Dragons and got me into all the sci-fi stuff. And he's the man that made me the geek I am today.
Oh wow, cool! It's really
So
nice to have an uncle like that that'll
yeah.
encourage your
Mhm.
geekdom. Because normally, if parents, well, technically, my parents when they saw me doing that, say, "What's that again? Dragons and dragons? Always dragons. Go outside, do something else." And I'm like, "No, I enjoy this." Then what she didn't know is that I would sneak into my cousin's house and like, "Hey, do
Mhm.
you have the latest D&D board? Yeah, I've got it here. Okay, yeah, let's tell them that we're out. Let's just tell them that we're out watching movies or something. But in reality, we'd be playing Dungeons and Dragons at their home." And then my aunt would go, "Hey, you guys, you're supposed to be watching movies." No, 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 no. We're gonna be okay. We're actually we're just testing out this new game that they have. We're safer at home, and we didn't really like going out have a time, but um, our parents would constantly tell us, "You go to the beach, go do this, go do that, go to the movies." No, I'd rather
Mhm.
stay home. I'd rather just play. And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, I used to play the card game Rage, Werewolf the
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse, if you're familiar
Yeah,
with that,
yeah, it's a good one.
man. Because
Yes.
unbeknownst to my friends who are, oh, you guys have the same mug. Nice.
Well, almost.
Yeah, my
Mine's
mug
actually
is
a wood.
tiny. I've got a tiny.
Uh, mine's actually an old barrel that is turned into a mug. It's part of my Red Fair kit.
Yeah, cool. It's like
Cool.
those things with the because pirates they drink something called grog and then they have those types of they go,
Yep.
give me a swill of grog and then they just
Yeah, I'm a
yeah,
geek on multiple levels.
sure.
I'm also a cast member and reenactor at the Renaissance Fair when it comes to town out
Oh,
here. So
nice.
yeah, this is part of the kit I wear. It's my barrel mug. It holds a lot. I
Oh,
can get
cool. So
four. I can get
you
I can
have.
get four full cans in here at one time of whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
or
that
I can
mug's
I can
cool.
I can get like I
I
can get like two of these in there
oh,
at the same
nice.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like one of those mugs that you just dip into. They have
I mean it's
holes
almost the size of
to
my
dip
head.
it
It's
in.
almost the size of my head.
Yeah, it is. You can get a lot of really cool drinks in there. Man, really
Well, plus it's
cool.
made
So
out of wood, so
who do you normally oh wow, it's authentic wood.
yeah, it's real wood. It's made of wood. It insulates quite well, so it's quite nice. You were asking?
Oh yeah. So who do you normally play in the Renaissance Fair?
I am one of my own characters. I play a humble peasant who's named Theodore Stout. He's an apprentice brewer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fun times. I usually my station. I'm up at the front gate. We do meet and greet and help integrate people as they come through the front door. Give them the first taste of
It's
what they're in
cool.
for. It's
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
always
fun.
wanted to play the innkeeper in a
Mm,
Renaissance fair. You know, the guy at the
yeah.
inn who goes, "Okay, everyone, 4 pieces of gold will get you a room and or something or accommodations. 2 pieces of gold gets you a meal." And I'll be just like that innkeeper in Les Miserables, that the scummy guy who serves cattails to his guest and turns him into sausage. Oh yes, and then
Uh,
come here. Look at our inn. It's full of rats, but we'll charge you double.
oh, that's funny. That's funny.
uh, really cool. So, um, and about with magic,
Mm.
like where did you used to play, and who are your most memorable who are your most memorable opponents?
Okay, well, I played primarily against my uncle for the first year or so I was playing because he was the only other person I knew that played. And then I got to, we call it middle school, which for us out here is sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. There were other kids that would play at lunch. They'd bring their decks, and we'd go at lunchtime out on the picnic tables and play Magic. And I did that pretty much all the way through school, from middle school into high school. I did that at lunchtime and at breaks, and even after school. Sometimes I had several friends, and we'd all just get together and play. It was always the same decks, and
Okay.
we'd get to the point of where we were literally opening up each other's hands and being like, "Well, I'm going to win this on turn 4." Just by looking at what cards, we were able to tell each other what we were going to
Yeah.
play before we played it. Almost.
Remember right, cool. Because I remember back then, everyone was, although it was banned, everybody playing casually was playing Channel Fireball,
Oh yeah,
and they
always
comboed
always a
it. Yeah, and they comboed it with Orcish Lumberjack and Tinderwall from
mm,
Ice Age, and a
yeah.
bunch of Findhorn elves, and they they'd spend a little amount of money, and they'd
Mm,
come up with a really powerful deck that could win on the second or third turn, and people would caught on to it. So everybody started buying channels, and everybody was playing red green or a variation of red
yeah.
green. And then we just go in, okay, first turn, Orcish Lumberjack, second turn, Chop My Forest, Sacrifice Tinder Wall. They'd
Hmm.
either play a Shivan Dragon or they'd go with Channel Fireball.
Oh, the
And
old school
then
Shivan Dragon. There's a good one.
oh yeah,
That was
Shivan.
the
And
original
everybody loved
5/5
it.
pumper, right? Yeah. I think the
Because
Shivan was the
back
5/5
then, people
pumper,
were
wasn't it?
hoping to get a Shivan instead or a Senjir. Yeah, he was
Mm.
a 5/5 pumper.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
instead of getting a Mox or a Black Lotus or any of those other ridiculous cards, people were hoping to get a Shivan, a Sarah,
Mm.
a Crawworm, or something big.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
this
mean, the
was the
Power
Timmy
Nine.
era. So Timmy Power
Yeah,
Gamer.
Power Nine were great, but you couldn't play them in any real format, so they weren't that valuable.
Yeah, I think
So I mean,
Power
yeah, the
9 is
Moxes
like
and Lotuses and stuff are cool, but Power Nine, unless you're playing with other people that are going to let you use them, you can't use them in anything. So,
yeah. So basically, they're just investment. People just use them as
Mhm.
investments for long
Oh yeah,
term, and yeah,
there's an entire economy based around that stuff nowadays. It's crazy.
yeah. And I think there's
Like,
this guy in YouTube called Rudy from Alpha Investments, and he's hoarding all the Power 9 cards.
I believe it.
And he does
I
these.
believe it.
Yeah, he does these box openings. I mean, he's from Florida. And he's funny because he claims to live in his mom's basement, and he claims to be related to Wolverine. And man, he just hoards everything. He buys old cards, he buys old boxes,
Hmm.
and I think like 90% of all the Magic cards are with him right now. So
I have a
yeah,
question,
it's
Sir David.
Hmm.
Uh, did you ever encounter people telling you that you're playing these cards with a satanic or a demonic influence?
Personally, no,
oh
I have not, but I do
We
know some
encountered that
people.
here.
I do know some people that have, especially people that have very religious views and
Mm-hmm.
very, in my opinion, narrow-minded thinking of things. They're the same
Mm-hmm.
people that think Dungeons and Dragons is satanic, even though you're
Mm-hmm.
playing the good guys.
In our case here in the Philippines,
Mm,
there are people who says, "Hey, don't watch, stop watching Harry Potter,
mm-hmm.
stop reading Harry Potter books." Mostly, these are the priests, and to me, of course, it's just for form of it's just one form of entertainment to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy sometime in your life. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to get influenced by it. Not unless you let yourself get controlled by that form of pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
But you're actually right. This is these people have different perception than yours. What is important is that if you're the one into it, then just enjoy it.
Exactly. It's the number one thing you can do is if you find something that you're having fun with, it doesn't matter what other people think about you. As long as you're enjoying it, have fun.
Yeah,
yeah, just have fun.
here in the Philippines, we have too many Catholic schools,
Hmm.
and I know the sly guy understands what I'm talking about.
Hmm. Well, I know I don't
Yeah.
look it, but my grandmother was actually from Manila. I'm a quarter Filipino, so
Wow,
yeah,
Oh yes, he is.
yeah.
that's
I don't
awesome.
look it, but my grandmother was from Manila, so
Yeah.
yeah.
You sly guy, you
Yeah, so he
encountered
is.
people telling you to stop playing that because of the symbols are scary.
Yeah, and here's what's weird. It wasn't anyone from yeah, because we're a Catholic family,
Hmm.
and even my mom knows a bunch of priests. They don't care about Magic the Gathering. The people who would normally say that oh, that's of satanic, you mustn't do it. I think it was one of our friends in high school, Sir David, if
Okay.
you
Okay.
remember him. Yep. But anyway, he was one of our friends in high school. I'm not too sure what he was. I think he was a Mormon or something. But he was this
Okay.
Bible praising guy. He was this Bible toting guy, and then
Yeah.
he'd go, you know what, that is satanic, look at this looks like the star, the pentagram of blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, it's a card game, man,
Yeah, it's called Dark
chill.
Ritual. They're
It's
sacrificing a
called
guy. Come
Dark
on.
Ritual. Yeah, they're sacrificing a guy, and this happens in other
It's
cultures,
just a
not necessarily
storyline.
Hmm.
it's just a story. These are cards, man. This is
It's a
just
game, and little
a
pieces of
game.
cardboard aren't going to hurt you.
You're
Yeah,
not
even
being
when
forced to play.
Yep, whenever there's Dungeons and Dragons, it's like, you know what? They said something in the 700 Club that Dungeons and Dragons will make you crazy, and then the devil will control you, and blah blah blah. Dude, it's a bunch of dice, and it's a book, and we're just, I
Right?
don't know what we're gonna do,
Uh,
man. And it's
it's
just so weird. Then after that, it was Pokemon. Yeah, that was
yeah.
the silliest one. It's like Pokemon. You know
Well,
what? Pikachu, he's got horns, and he's the devil. And if you watch Pokemon, you're gonna be worshiping Satan or something. Oh man! After that,
uh,
it was Harry Potter. There
yeah,
they go. Oh, Harry Potter. They teach kids how to become witches. No, they don't.
Yeah.
It's a book.
I know.
It's oh
Pokemon's
man.
tough. Pokemon's actually the number one largest single entity in the world. It
Oh
has more
yes, it
stuff
is.
attached to it than anything else in the world. Pokemon's insane.
Yep, it's got mobile
Pokemon had a
games,
card game
toys.
too.
Yes, they do. It's still going strong.
Yeah, going
Yeah, and my
strong.
little sister collects Pokemon DVD. She's been collecting since the early 90s, and she's collecting up to now. So that's how long the series is. And I couldn't
Hmm.
actually start because when I try binge watching it, 20 episodes, I'm done. I'm like asleep after
Right.
watching Pokemon.
Oh
And I'm
man.
like, oh,
Yeah.
who's this character? Wait, what happened to Brock and Misty? Weren't they there? And who's that blue haired girl? Who's the green haired girl? And why is this Pokemon so big? And why is Ash still the same age that he was 20 years ago? So
Oh
I
yeah.
was it's like something that something somewhat of a mystery. So you also play Arena, is that
Yes, I
correct?
do. I do play arena occasionally. Not as often as I would like, but I still do. Yes.
Yeah, okay. And what decks do you use in
Right
Arena?
now, I'm using a green blue snow covered deck from the newest set that came out. That's kind of mean.
No, Kaldheim.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. It's that one and the new set that just came out. The vampires
the
one. I forget the
Crimson
name.
Vow.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah,
Oh,
that deck's
okay.
fun. I actually did a draft yesterday for Crimson Vow. I ended up getting 3 wins before I got 3 losses, but wasn't too bad. I ended up going red green because that's what I drafted. I drafted some interesting cards.
Yeah, red green is pretty overpowered now in standard. You've got landfall because all of the
Mm,
Eldraine cards rotated out, but the guide beast, the Akum Hellhound, and
mm.
the mammoth, everything with landfall stayed. So
Oh yeah, no,
it's
landfall's nasty. The werewolf, the day night mechanic is also fun.
oh yeah, the werewolf and that the planeswalker werewolf.
Yeah.
That Arlene, yeah, that's her name, Arlene. She's you just add mana to your mana pool, and then she becomes a 5/5 indestructible werewolf that just
Mhm.
clobbers the opponent. Zombies are also good now.
Zombies look
Champion
like
of the
they're pretty
Perished,
good. Yeah.
so you can make like a black blue zombie deck where
I, ra-
you
I ran
just
I ran into one of those. It was mean.
yeah, that small 1/1 zombie can grow and grow
Hmm.
really fast. He's like bam bam
Yeah.
bam.
All of a sudden he's an 8/8, and you're going, how did you get so big?
All right, but do you also collect the novels of Magic the Gathering? Do you follow the story?
I used to back when it was the days of Gerard and the Weatherlight, but it's been a while. I don't anymore.
Oh, okay, it's cool.
Yeah, I read a couple of the books back when it was the crew of the Weatherlight, Gerard and Miri, the Cat Warrior, and all of them. They were Volrath was still,
Karn, the
yeah,
silver golem.
yeah. Volrath was still the big bad guy.
But who do you think is a would make a better bad guy? Commander Grevin Ilvek or Krovax the Cursed?
Well, I mean, Krovax is always kind of the atypical. I'm the secondary bad guy. Wow, watch me do evil things.
Okay, so it would be Grevin Ilvek because he's like the Darth Vader and
Yeah,
Gerard's like
a
Luke
little bit.
Skywalker.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's if anything, the Weatherlight's the Millennium Falcon. Miri is the combination of Princess Leia and Chewbacca.
And Chewbacca, yes. Ah, I like that description. Yeah, she does. She is Princess Leia and Chewbacca all in
Mhm.
one.
Yeah,
Oh man.
she's the princess, and she'll whoop that ass.
Yeah, she definitely would.
And
Okay, now since we're talking about Star Wars now, let's
oh,
take Magic because we had a conversation way back, and I
mhm.
believe that you said that you like the original trilogy better
Yes,
than the prequel trilogy and sequel trilogy. So,
yes.
what actually makes that better than the other two?
Well, when I was going to college or university, as it were, I had a minor in film. So I have when I watch movies which a different eye than a lot of people that watch movies. I look for more technical things, and I look at how the camera work is done, and how scenes are set up, and how lighting is, and I can't help it, but I watch films with a much more critical eye than a lot of people that watch films. So I have trouble just losing myself and enjoying them sometimes. And with the newer Star Wars movies, the ones that came out recently, the solo 7, 8, and 9, starting with the Force Awakens, going
Hmm.
into then the last two, I forget the names. uh, they were good. I really liked the story, but they just I don't. There was something about the characters that they introduced. They weren't fully 3 dimensional, in my opinion.
Right.
Especially with like the bad guys, you don't know anything about the dude with the new helmet with with the big ass lightsaber.
Like a Kylo Ren.
Yes, Kylo Ren. You don't know anything about him. They really don't explain him very well.
Oh, yeah. Aside from the
And
fact that he's like Han Solo's son,
they don't
and
even just outright tell you that until halfway through that first movie. I don't think they were done very well. And personally, I was a bigger fan of the expanded universe, which was the universe written by all the authors that wrote books for Star Wars.
right.
And there were a lot of really good stories that were told in the expanded universe. My personal favorite would be, my personal pick. What they should have done for 7, 8, and 9 was what's called the Thrawn Trilogy, written by
Hmm.
Timothy Zahn. Told the story of the only alien to rise to the rank of Grand Master in the Imperial Navy,
Ah, okay.
or not Grand Admiral in the Imperial Navy. And he was a genius. He was able to conquer alien species simply by studying their art, and
Hmm.
he would be able to unlock the secrets of their thinking as a people and find their weakness. These people are prideful. They take all. So if I feign and make them think I'm running away, they'll take the bait. And he was able to conquer everything he fought because he studied them.
Right, right. So he was a tactician. He
Yes, and
definitely.
absolutely a fascinating bad guy. And the Disney, when they took over Star Wars, said, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're going our own way."
Yeah, and then we get in the Last Jedi, we get General Holdo and
Oh God,
her
yeah,
ship. Like
yeah,
let's run away from these
yeah. It was
Imperial
well,
destroyers.
the second movie was effectively the second movie had the pacing of the of Empire Strikes Back, but in reverse.
Yes, I
Our
agree.
friend Kim here says, true. I think the new Star Wars is lacking in ways hard to explain.
Yes, I agree 100%. It
Mm.
is difficult to explain exactly why it is so bad, but it was just not as good as it should have been, in my opinion.
Yeah, because in the first trilogy, you cared about Luke. Luke was vulnerable. I mean,
Hmm.
Darth Vader chopped off his hand. And in the new trilogy, Rey was a bit too overpowered, but you were more worried about Kylo Ren because I think she wounded him in the first
Yeah,
movie. So
yeah.
you were
Oh,
more
yeah, with
worried
the
about
whole
him
the
losing a limb or two.
yeah. I mean, kind of, but not really. It was. I don't know. I she was way too much of a Mary Sue for my liking. If you don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's a character who appears to be meek and innocent, yet is secretly the most badass thing you'll ever come
Oh,
across.
okay. I see.
And someone who's got plot immunity and oh, I need to be able to do something. Oh, I can just do that.
Yeah, in the last movie, she used the Emperor's Force Lightning
Yeah, I
to
know.
destroy one of the ships, and she killed Chewbacca. And when she killed,
Yeah.
I thought she killed Chewbacca. Ah, yeah, she's
Oh,
gonna go to the dark side now. She killed someone, but
as
she
as
didn't
as
kill Chewie, but she did kill the other people on that ship. So
as
technically,
as someone who's read the expanded universe, the only way to kill Chewbacca is throw a moon at him.
oh yeah,
Can you imagine if Chewbacca and Groot met each other? How could these two
Like,
creatures communicate?
I am
I
Groot.
am Groot.
That'll be the dialogue of the entire movie.
Oh yeah,
It's like because
it'll be
Disney's
like
making a.
the
Yeah, sorry, go.
The
it'll be
script
like
writer's
the
gonna freak out.
it'll be like the holiday special all over again. 20 minutes of untranslated Wookiee.
Oh man, the holiday special.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't actually watch the full holiday special,
Oh,
but I know that
you're not missing much.
I know that the R2D2 and C3PO started it off, and when Luke
Yeah,
showed up, as well as
yeah.
Leia, and I think they were
That's
eating turkey. I don't know
they're
what they were.
celebrating Life Day,
Oh, just Life Day. Okay.
which is effectively Christmas.
Mm.
Oh, Christmas in space.
It's
So
Christmas. Star Wars Christmas is called Life Day. Go figure.
okay, okay. So it's Life Day. So
There's
they
there was
also give.
actually
Uh,
there was
is there
actually
like a space Santa Claus? With,
not that I know of. No. Uh, no, I don't believe there's a Santa Claus or anything in Star. I just know that the one of the major holidays is Life Day.
Was there ever a Star Wars playing cards designed
Yes.
like MTG?
yeah, CCGs.
Yes, there
The
was.
what?
There's Magic the card game, or sorry, there's Star Wars the card game, and they came out recently with a miniatures game that uses cards a lot like Magic.
Oh, nice.
And so you move figures around on a board you set up, but the cards, all the stats and everything, and you have special abilities you can play, and from
I haven't seen one yet
mm,
because I think the most creative Star Wars artifact that I've seen in a toy store
mm-hmm.
is a chessboard using the stormtroopers as pawn
It's good.
and Queen
Mm,
Amidala
mm,
as the
nice.
queen,
Okay.
stuff like
Uh,
that. And I was like,
the
wow, I want to buy this one.
the Star Wars card game came out in the '90s before the prequels even. So it was around during the mid to late '90s, I believe. Oh, excuse me. And it was
Mm.
a self-contained game. Yeah, I think it was much like Magic. They had expansions and they had boosters and starter decks, and you could build different stuff. It didn't last very long, and it wasn't overly popular. But I know there was one. I've probably got some cards for it around here somewhere.
Oh wow.
I'd have to go find them, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
those
I
are
have some.
really rare now. People
Yeah,
couldn't find
some
them
of them are.
anywhere.
I'm sure. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings card game cards laying around too. I mean, no one ever plays it, but
Yeah, speaking of Lord of the Rings, because when Lord of the Rings came out with, because back then it was just Middle Earth
mm-hmm.
without the movie art. Then when the movies came out, they had a separate CCG for Lord of the Rings. My
Yes.
cousins played it, and a revamp of the prequel trilogy Star Wars, which had Anakin.
Oh, that's
It
really cool.
had
That's really cool.
Count Dooku, more
It's
of
a
a
Star
newer
Wars
characters.
chessboard.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Oh wow, yes.
Kim says, "Yeah, there are Star Wars hobby cards.
Yep.
Yeah, F man,
Star
Star Wars
Wars
chessboard, take
chessboard.
my
Take my
money.
money,
Yes, take
bro."
my money
That's a
too.
good one.
Yes,
It's a good one. It's a
The
good one.
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I have a copy of Star Wars Battleship, but it's electronic and it uses the prequel ships from the first one, the Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that one, it's just like the game Battleship, but it's electronic, and it uses the Star Wars themes and everything. It's always fun.
Can you use Anakin's ship to blow everything up, just like what he did in
Uh,
the movies?
there is a Naboo fighter, and you're playing the Naboo forces versus the droid army. So yeah, you can blow up one of the big droid battle stations with a little fighter. Always fun. And then I think one of the biggest versions of a Star Wars game was on the Nintendo 64 when they came out with
Hmm.
Rogue Squadron, which had the Naboo fighter that you could play as if you entered
Oh,
in the right
nice.
code.
I
Yeah,
have friends.
if you entered in the right cheat code, you could play as the Naboo fighter. That thing was overpowered.
I have
Oh
friends who
yes.
got addicted to Battlefront.
Battlefront's a great game.
Yeah,
The first one's good. The second one's good too, but it's a solid game.
like it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Guy, yeah, but I always use Greedo when these guys has these um, use the shoe if you want.
Uh, you're cutting out there. I didn't get any of that. Sorry, Sly.
Oh no, no, it's about Greedo. Use Greedo in Battlefront, the first
Oh,
Battlefront.
Greedo. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I prefer the blaster characters as opposed to
Yeah.
the lightsaber characters.
Well, if you want to go
Ben, but
back to
in
yeah, the games before Battlefront, even there was the Jedi Academy series. There were 2 or 3 games of the Jedi Academy series that all had multiplayer shoot 'em ups, and the characters that carried blasters, in my opinion, were stronger than all the Jedi running around. Because yeah, the Jedi can block blaster bullets, but if you fire enough bullets at them, they're gonna not block them all.
I have another question. Will there ever be? Do you think will there ever be a Magic the Gathering film movie adaptation?
I don't want to say never, because I think that is definitely something that could happen, and in all likelihood, probably is in the works somewhere. The hard part would be trying to nail down exactly what story you want to tell.
Mhm.
There are a lot of different storylines going. In fact, each Magic set tends to have its own internal storyline going. So the hard part would be nailing down which story you wanted to tell.
Yeah, in fact, I think it would be a very interesting universe
Mm-hmm. I
next to
mean,
Marvel and DC.
I think you could do a lot of them in the universe. Yes. Personally, I would like to see the Phyraxian. I think the Phyraxians would be a terrific bad guy for a movie.
yes,
I
with
think
Yog
I think
Mob and
a bunch of heroes having to face a Phyraxian threat would make for an interesting movie.
Hmm.
yeah, which is pretty much invasion. Yeah, invasion would
Yeah.
be a pretty good place to have to start a movie.
Yeah, Invasion's a good one. Personally, I think the storyline that was going on with when Tempest and Stronghold came out were really good too. Those were
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, it was when
that's
right
when
before the Urza saga came out. So it was everything was building up to Urza taking over and artifacts exploding everywhere.
yes, I agree,
It
especially
was
with Solarian Academy.
yeah,
I
it was
remember
this
those.
it was the second rebirth of the Age of Antiquities, because Antiquities was a set,
Ah, yes, an all
and then
artifact set.
yeah, and then and then after that they came out with the Urza saga, which is where they had the special lands, the mine, the power plant, the I forget the third one, the tower. And if you had all
Power, yep.
three, if you had all three, they produce 9 mana instead of 3.
Yep. Then you can use them to play really big artifact creatures like the
Mm-hmm.
Colossus of Sardia
Yep.
or the Dark Steel Colossus. Oh man,
I remember when that
Bruce
card
Wayne
was a kill
was
card.
scary.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
biggest
played
problem I
against
have
a
with
guy last week.
oh yeah,
Yep, I actually played against a guy last week. He had Urzatron with him, so he was playing really big creatures really fast. Turn three because he had crop rotations. So
yeesh.
he would just sacrifice his land. He would tutor out for the Urza set. Once he plays everything, he'd play big
Mm,
creatures, and then he'd just annihilate me on turn four.
yeah. So one of the biggest problems and the biggest downsides I have against Magic is the fact that the cards that I have that I still own from all those years ago, the stuff that was the big bad is no longer anywhere near as big bad as the stuff that's coming out for the moderns.
Oh
Sir David,
yes, I agree.
I'm just curious, and I want to ask this:
Hmm.
in the Philippines, MTG players they meet on the mall,
Mm-hmm.
on a park near a very popular university. Where do you guys play Magic the Gathering in the US? Like from where you are from, you're in California now, and
Yes, a lot of game stores will host what's called Friday Night Magic, which they'll do
wow,
small tournaments and stuff on Friday
Mm.
nights. There's also tournament events they have at big convention centers, and every year, local where I am, there's a small independent convention that gets together 3 times a year, and there's usually a really good turnout of people going there just to play Magic.
wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
opportunities around. It's one of the nice things about living in Los Angeles where I live. There's stuff everywhere.
Maybe the
Oh
Sly Guy
man.
could organize something like that in the future.
Yeah, hopefully some place here in the Philippines because right now the only place where we can play is a place called Neutral Grounds,
Okay.
and yep, we don't have really large tournaments. So perhaps
Mm.
later in the
I
future
see
we could.
some people playing inside a Starbucks
Yeah, that would work
location.
too. I mean, that's the beauty of Magic. You pretty much only really need a table, and you can play anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be fun because people just hang out in Starbucks all day. We can hang out in
Yeah,
Starbucks all day and play Magic. Like, sir,
yeah.
you have to order a solid
just
if
buy
you're gonna
one
say, oh
coffee
yeah, I
and
want another brownie, please. Yes.
Yeah. Most
just
most
buy
So
one coffee and
their
stay there the
brownies
whole
are like a
day.
dollar
yeah.
each.
Yeah, most of our game stores and even comic book stores and stuff out here usually have tables inside where people can play games and play yeah, either they'll have
That's
board
cool.
games going, or you'll have guys
Cool.
playing Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh,
Mhm.
or they'll have guys throwing miniatures out and playing like 40K or
Oh man,
all
I
kinds of
miss playing
stuff.
40K.
Yeah, well, at least they used to before the pandemic, but now with people staying home and all that stuff, that side of the industry is starting to come back, but it's a slow process.
Mm.
Actually, getting to do
Well,
this
just
stuff
to
in
tell you a funny
person.
story.
Hmm.
Okay, well, just to give you a funny story, there was this guy at Neutral Grounds one time.
Mm-hmm.
This was in San Francisco, and he in 40K you can paint your figures any way you wanted. So he
Yes,
painted his knights like unicorns. He painted unicorns like the My Little Pony unicorn.
I love it.
It was
That's
like,
great.
go
Oh, that's good.
Lala, go Dasher, go Vote. He'd have these squeaky little voices, you know. I will
Mm-hmm.
use my magical power to turn everything
Oh,
into
that's
flowers.
funny. That's funny.
He even painted he even had these toy cakes with him, and he added them to the board for some reason.
Nice.
It looked like a little girl's party in there, and then everybody was. They were too amused to attack him. He was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna attack you. It's too amusing. It's too pink. I don't want to ruin the cake. So let's go ahead and yeah, let's just go ahead and attack
Shout
somebody
outs
else,
to
and then he just
Rainier
goes,
Squeta.
all
Oh
right,
yeah, that's good. That's
hello
good.
there, Rainier Esqueda. He was our he used to be our early bird,
Oh, okay.
always up there. So but now he's a night owl now. Right. But thank you so much, Sir Rainer, and he also helps us getting our guests. So thank you so much, Sir
Oh,
Rainer.
very cool.
Back into going back to space, going back into outer space. Now you also mentioned your Star Trek. Is that right?
Yes, yes. I am
Okay,
also
really
a
cool.
very large Star Trek nerd.
Okay, cool. So did you start with Captain Picard and Spock, or New
I
Generation and
I
Deep
started
Space Nine?
the first Star Trek I ever really watched was Next Generation, which was Captain Picard. During the Next Generation, which started in the late '80s and went all the way through most of the '90s. I didn't start watching the original series with Kirk and Spock until much later.
Kim says, "What do you guys think
Okay.
about the Star Trek spin-off in Netflix, Star Trek Discovery?"
I haven't actually watched it myself.
Hmm.
I've heard good things,
Mhm.
but I haven't myself watched it yet. It's in the list of things that I need to watch that I'm slowly working my way through.
I think it's an opportunity for the Star Trek franchise to catch up with competition with other universes, especially with Star Wars. Back in the 90s, I have a perception that Star Wars and Star Trek could have been the perfect rivals for a sci-fi series.
Mm,
In the same way that DC and Marvel have been a long time rivals together.
mhm.
Yeah. Roach Squat, sorry late, share the 3 pages. Thank you, bro.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Uh, for myself personally, I am of the opinion that while
Oh,
they
okay,
are
sir.
both Star Wars and Star Trek, while they have their similarities, they are also very different.
Mhm.
Star Wars is while it is science fiction, it is definitely more on the fiction side. It's almost like a science fantasy. You know, you have knights, you've got the bad guys, you've got the big
Space
floating
wizards.
castles. Exactly,
You have
space wizards.
powers.
Where Star Trek is a lot more science fiction. They're very more grounded in actual science, and it's not about the wizards and things. It's more the human condition, trying to
Yeah.
Mm,
meet with things you're unused to and getting through it and overcoming problems. And how in Star Wars it's still very much everyone's out for their own. You get what you can. Where in Star Trek it's very utopian and everybody's working together to try and overcome the goals and challenges. So yeah, they are both science fiction series, but they are two very different things. It's hard to compare the two because they are so different.
yeah, and another
Yes.
thing is that their droids are more realistic. Data is way better than C-3PO or R2D2.
uh,
I mean,
okay, the 3PO, yes. R2D2, no, you shut your mouth.
okay, okay, sorry.
R2D2 is great.
Yeah, in Big Bang Theory, they always compare Star Trek versus Battlestar Galactica.
I agree that is a better comparison as far as the two different series. Yes, Galactica and Star Trek are a
Sure.
lot closer together as far as their overarching themes and everything. And again, they're both really good shows. I like Galactica too.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it gets a little samey after a while. Well, it's time for a new episode. All right, who's going to be a Cylon this week?
Well, have you also
I think
been able to watch?
some people have mistaken Star Trek and Star Wars as
It
rivals, like me, because of the word star. They they
absolutely.
both started with the word
Mm,
star.
right.
Mhm. No, I get that. And for some people, even that can be confusing, especially for the uninitiated. I know I have seen several people that'll say that whole, Star Wars track thing. What?
Well, it's like they mixed them both together.
Yeah, it's the people that don't know what they're talking about that will make those mistakes more often than not. People that have actually seen the shows will know the difference.
Mm, right. He's like a Jedi Master Spock, or Worf. Worf is their Wookiee.
Oh man.
Rawr.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's like Worf versus Chewbacca.
That's funny.
And I
That's
mean, a
funny.
dialogue for the rest of a movie.
Sly guy, I think we can just ask Sir David two more questions.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so all right. So, but basically, who do you think has more appeal, or who had the bigger impact to you, Captain Kirk or Luke Skywalker?
Growing up, it was definitely Luke Skywalker. Star Wars always has been my first love, and I've always been a big reader. So as soon as I got into the books, I started on the books, and I've been huge into it ever since.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
And okay, last question. Okay,
Mhm.
have you seen either Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon?
I have actually seen both of them. They are both
Okay.
campy and corny and a lot of fun in their own ways. You can definitely see the influences on things like Star Wars from Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon. There's also a lot of influence on from those guys on Indiana Jones,
Mm,
and Star Trek also has several things in common with those shows as well. It is one of the things of when you're trying to tell a story in space, there's only so much you can do that hasn't been done by somebody else. So you have to figure out
mm,
your ways to bring your own spin on the standard tropes as they were.
right. Well, good question. How do you tell Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon apart?
Oh
Because they're
God.
actually really similar.
They are very similar. It's the individual actors and the character names and stuff. Otherwise, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's pretty much, even their looks the same. Their
Yeah,
ship
well, they were
or
both made around the same
trailer.
time, so that makes sense. It's you could honestly show me one and tell me it was the other, and I probably wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, since Netflix likes to revive stuff, it'd be cool if they make Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers crossover with both of them there, and it's like, my long lost brother, we're twins. It's like that Spider-Man meme where all of them are
Yeah.
pointing, but it's just two of them pointing against each other.
Oh,
Oh, you,
that's good.
Buck Rogers,
Anyway,
Flash Gordon.
guys, if you're watching, we have a Twitter account, we have a YouTube channel. This is our official Facebook page. We have a Walker Strip account. Now, what is Walker Strip? It's a Filipino social media app. Now, if you guys want to try, you can download that for free in Google Play. We will be available in iOS by the middle of November. But for now, for you to sign up after downloading, you need a referral user code. The referral username is geeks underscore hideout. Then you can make your own personal username. And if you introduce the app to your friends to use it, it will help you earn points. Points can be converted into cash. And for more information, we have a Walker Strip Facebook page. You can you can explore the page and send us your questions about the app. All right, and we also have our official Facebook group. It's a community of geeks calling out gamers, streamers, hobbyists. If you want to sell stuff like comic books, playing cards, any collectibles, you can post it here. You can share your streams here, and let's keep the geekdom community alive. Let's make it grow. Let's make that happen. All right.
Right,
Anyway,
and most of the memes in that group are from Rocha Escueta. I steal
yeah,
memes from him, especially the funny ones about Marvel. The one with
yeah,
the
yeah.
Professor X became Dark Phoenix, Bald Phoenix. I stole that.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
These
So all
awkward
of the
memes
memes
we
are from
enjoy.
all of the memes are from him. So thank you so much, Mr. Rocha Escueta.
Any advice, Sir David, for people who for the young ones who just want to learn how to play any any playing card, how to control their addiction, or how to invest on it, especially Magic the Gathering.
Don't don't go into buying magic cards expecting you're going to get rich. Buying magic cards is because you love the game and you want to play with them. There is an economy based around cards and values based on what sets are coming out, what sets are going away, what and rares and stuff that are coming out. And yes, there is a way you can make money doing that. It is not easy to break into. You're probably not going to get rich doing it. It is a great way to go broke. Have fun with the game, enjoy the game, play what you want, and it do what you find fun. Don't worry so much about what other people are telling you should be doing. You should, as long as you're having fun, you're good. That's the really important part. It's a game. It's a game. Have fun.
Yes. Have
Have fun,
fun.
enjoy.
And another thing is don't sell your cards, because if you sell your old cards today and you decide that you want them back a few years later, you're gonna pay
Oh yeah.
three to five times more
Oh yeah.
just to get them back.
Oh yeah.
Sly Guy, would you like to promote the Portable Podcast?
Oh yes, we're promoting Portable Podcast now, and of course we're still playing The Last of Us 2. Yes, I haven't finished it yet.
It's
I'm
a great
still
game.
playing. Yeah, it's a great game. Still playing the stage where Abby met Sniper Tommy for the first time.
I know
Man,
exactly where you are. Okay.
that guy's just
Oh yeah.
insane.
That's a
I had
mean little section.
Yeah, this guy is like the final boss. If I could pick a final boss for the game, it would be Tommy. Tommy is just crazy with that sniper rifle. So Abby had to crawl under. You know how strong Abby is. She had to crawl under cars. She had to swim in this ditch just to avoid him. Man, I'll never forget that stage. That's the stage where I died the most due to headshot bullets.
And
And then all of a sudden, I discovered that you can just use this cart for cover. So
Mhm.
yes, stay tuned for that episode. That episode is coming out tomorrow.
Sir David, would you like to promote your whatever social media platforms you have?
Oh
If you have a
yes,
podcast,
Third podcast.
yes, thank you. I am a host on Nerd Podcast Radio. We are on Facebook. Look us up at Nerd Podcast Radio. Our episodes come out on SoundCloud every other Wednesday. We're on Spotify. Nerd Podcast Radio. Our symbol is a robot. You can't miss it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got.
all right. Thank you very much, everyone. This is David B. together with the Sly Guy and our guest, David Theobald III. We
Thanks
will
for
see you
having me.
guys again.
And
Yeah,
thank you for joining us.
it's been a great pleasure. We'll see you guys again next week, Saturday and Sunday evenings. I'm not sure if you're going back to regular programming, 9 p.m. The Sly Guy will keep us updated. And same Facebook page, same field of interest. Once
Yes,
again, this is
that's right.
David B. with the Sly Guy and Sir David Theobald III saying good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye.